Hello, good morning. Happy New Year. So good to have you here today. Thank you so much for joining us. And yeah, happy 2021. Oh, it's nice to see you all here. Hi, Giovanna, Kaya, Deborah, Gerda, Barbara, Anna, Elisa, Angela, so good to have you all here this morning. Thank you so much for coming. And Shelley, hello, Happy New Year to you. And let's hope that this year is a little smoother than last year. Yeah, it's been quite the experience for all of us. And I hope that, well, I can only speak for myself, but this year has been, last year was a very humbling year for me in a lot of ways. It helped me to sort of reprioritize what really matters to me. It helped me to recognize the people, the things that I took for granted, and that whole attitude of taking things for granted. Like I have a pretty robust gratitude practice. I do gratitude lists every day. I do my best throughout the day to express my gratitude towards people. And in my prayers, whether it's an experience that has come to me or something that I've been given, some gift or generous extension of love, I always try to be grateful, but I recognize that there is a whole host of things in my daily life that I really take for granted. So 2020 deepened my gratitude practice in a way that was just beautiful and so necessary, because I am a firm believer that all of these beliefs and tenets that Mother teaches about anything to do with inner growth, spirituality, awareness, deepening love, being loved, loving others, that there's no end to how deep we can go. I have let go long ago of, I got this, or I've crossed the finish line, or, I've processed that issue and I'll never have to process it again. Never say never, for sure. And I find that this is the great gift that 2020 gave to me personally, is the deepening of my gratitude for everything. It went from looking at individual things and people and moments that I was grateful for to just this incredible sense of gratitude that I don't think I have ever had to that degree before. So I just feel enormously grateful for 2020 because of the gratitude that it brought me. And not just because, I survived, physically, I'm still here. And I have not gotten ill with the virus. I think mostly because I'm very careful with all the protocols that are asked of us to do. And I take relatively good care of myself. That's not to say that I can't contract the virus, but so far in 2020, I did not. And so it just goes so far beyond my basic life. Like, thank you for my life, although that's a part of it. But it's thank you for the life that I have. And here's the weird part. This is what I am always in constant awe about. when it comes to the divine and how closely connected we are. And that is that even though I had some weird medical issues in 2020, like very unexpected, and some with my back, some of you know, I had problems with my back, very debilitating. And then some other weird things that, you know, women of a certain age get. That's what all my health practitioners tell me. Well, women of a certain age. So I'm officially a woman of a certain age. And even though I had all these things, my stepfather passed away in October. Of course, he was 96. And so it was not unexpected, but it was still very difficult. And so many things happened. People came into my life, people left my life in 2020. It was a, and of course, you know, globally with the pandemic, it was a hugely challenging year. And yet, I feel extraordinarily grateful. And not that it's over. Like, that's not where the gratitude's coming from. Like, phew, thank God now we're on to 2021. Like, let's just, you know, forget about that. It is the entirety of the year and everything that happened that has provided a deeper sense of gratitude for me. So there were a lot of other gifts along the way, but that was my personal, deep spiritual gift that 2020 held for me. And the humility that has come through this year also plays a big role in that feeling of gratitude. So I just wanted to share that with you all because you all are such a big part of that. And I thank you. I know I say thank you a lot for being here, but I really feel that even though I'm sitting here just talking to a webcam, I mean, I can see that you're here, and I know that you're here in your homes or wherever you are, at work or wherever you are. You're watching this and you're a part of my life. Even if I never meet you in person, I just want you to know how much that means to me. And that this community, Mother's community, it's hard to put into words how deep my gratitude runs for all of you. And I know that this is a very reciprocal relationship, but it's one that it makes my heart just sing. And so thank you for the gift of your presence and all that it has brought me for many, many, many years, but particularly in this last year. You were a source of comfort for me, a source of support for me, and I'm grateful, really, really grateful. So, okay, let's go. Oh, thank you all so much. That is so kind of you to say. Thank you. Yes, right back at you. I like that one. That just sums it up. All right, here we go. Me and my Arctic teddy bear. Hmm. Hmm. Hello, beloved ones. Welcome to your new year. For those of you that adhere to the modern day calendar, welcome to 2021. This is always a very exciting time of the year. And let's talk a little bit about that today. So, each of you understands now, as an adult, as a conscious spiritual being, that all of you, all humans, both in body and out of body, that are waiting to come back to a body, you are all tied together. You are all one. So what happens to you happens to all. What happens to all happens to you. And maybe not the exact specifics, but the energy of it. So you all rise and fall together. You all ebb and flow together. Right? So when some of you are flowing so beautifully, you bring others along with you in that flow. And then they remember their flow. And when you forget your flow, they are flowing enough to remind you and take you with them. And it may be hard to see that going by when you look at the globe and all the people living upon it now in body, and the violence, the poverty, the sickness, the loss that people experience every day. It can be hard to believe that you are all connected. But this is where you can take that hawk view, right? Or the bird's eye view, and to see the whole. That time is not always what you think it is, right? So your perception of time, how things resolve themselves, when things get fixed or changed, is not how the whole works. It's just how it works for you in your own mind, in your own perceptions. But if you were to stand all the way back and look at the larger picture, and you looked at your recorded history, you could see how there is an enormous ebb and flow that moves throughout the population on the whole planet. But that is one of the things that is changing, beloved ones. You are moving into this new age that is more about equality. It is more about collaborative effort. And you will find that more and more people will be looking to their immediate communities. You have had a great resurgence of this over the last 10 years. And this will continue to grow and grow and grow. That all of you as a collective are waking up and shaking off some of the apathy that may have infused your consciousness. And that apathy is a kind of abdication that, for example, if you pay your taxes, then the government should automatically give you what you are supposed to receive, right? And people that can't pay their taxes, then they don't get what they're supposed to get from the government, or they don't get what you get, right? Because you are paying your taxes and they are not. And that is an old paradigm about superiority and inferiority, deservability based on outside conditions. Now, will there always be people in your society globally that want to tear others down, that want to enact violence, that are not interested in honesty or equality? Yes, there will be, because there will always be new souls coming in that are very invested in shadow, right? But here's what's changing. There is much more transparency that is growing, and individuals and collectives are starting to recognize that if you don't overcome the attachment to what's on the outside and start connecting with people from the inside, based on the inside, that you are not going to flourish as a race of beings. That the outer sort of yardstick by which people are judged is losing its luster. And a very wonderful example is when the whole pandemic first started, and who was sort of labeled an essential worker, an essential person. I know that it's a small thing, and maybe it has been forgotten over the months. But something happened with that. There was an energy that was birthed, that arose. And it's not just that, oh, now we are going to place garbage collectors and nurses at the very top, and everyone else now is going to stay at the bottom. No, it was a movement towards equality. It was a collective epiphany that what you all have sort of agreed upon in the past as essential or superior in how people are placed on the hierarchies of society shifted completely on its axis. And that one shift has given birth to a whole movement. That all of you are essential. All of you are worthy of equality. And not in spite of your skin color, but because of it. Not in spite of your cultural differences, but because of it. Not in spite of your religious beliefs, but because of them. not despite your age or your biological sex or your gender, but because of all of that. Things are starting to matter that were not allowed to matter before. Maybe people whom these things have mattered to kept it private because it was not accepted. People that stayed silent for most of their lives began to speak up. And what is happening on your planet, in the human collective, is one of the most powerful movements that has ever taken place within humanity. And it is that of the recognition, the acceptance, and maybe someday the celebration of your equality to all people. That it is not what is on the outside that decides your worth, but what is on the inside. And people have said this for a long time. It's what's on the inside that counts. And then everyone turns around, not everyone, but the majority of the world turns around and behaves in the exact opposite. That in fact, it is what's on the outside that defines your self-worth, your wealth, whom you are related to, your religion, your skin color. And that has changed throughout the ages, throughout different countries. But this is different. The concept that what's on the inside matters is starting to drop down from an intellectual concept or a sort of cultural belief that everyone should adhere to, but really doesn't in the end. It's moving from the mind, from that debilitating place of should, and it's dropping down into the experiential self, the self that feels that. And this is not going to change overnight, but it is changing, beloved ones. And with that change comes a challenge. Each and every one of you are going to be challenged this year on your own equality. That your old arguments of being less than are not going to hold up the way they used to. Your dogged determination to hang on to your lack of self-worth is not going to be as easy to do. The divine is going to be poking holes in that argument so that light can shine through. So you don't have to think yourself as an equal only, but you can begin to feel yourself as an equal. And the very simple question of why can't I do that will shift from self-pity to curiosity. Why can't I do that? Let's explore why I believe I can't do something or create something or be a part of something or have my needs fulfilled. What is the truth? And what is just the old story that I tell myself about my self-worth? And when you try to hang on to that old argument that you are less than or that you are better than, it will fall apart each time. You can keep rebuilding it and rebuilding it and rebuilding that old paradigm as often as you like. This is not a punishment. This is simply the progression of the human race. So you can fight against that. You can swim upstream. You can push against that. And you can hang on with all your might to the belief that you are less than, and sometimes you are better than others. But you will need to expend an enormous amount of energy to do so. And that is what I'm here to tell you today, beloved ones. That the energies that have now been released into the collective is all based in equality, and not just one human to another, but the equality of all creatures, great and small, that exist upon your planet, that are a part of Gaia. So I'm inviting you today to ride the wave of this new year. So the collective always gets excited about the new year, resolutions and goals. Don't set resolutions, don't set goals. They can be a setup for self-sabotage. Stay rooted in the day, live each day. But trust that because the whole collective tends to get very focused on creating new, starting new, you can ride that wave. It's all there for you. Not the punishing part, that you must achieve your goals, but the energetic part that simply swells at this time of the year. I'm inviting you to ride that wave of equality into 2021 and beyond. Letting go of those old beliefs that you are less than or you are greater than anyone or anything else. I cannot begin to express to you the love that is waiting for you in equality. And I'm going to be talking more about this as the weeks progress. So I leave you with this. Start to become aware of not just your thoughts about being less than or being superior to, but your actual behaviors that or reactions that reinforce that disparity, that inequality. And just start to observe the people around you and their behaviors that reinforce the disparity between each other, the natural world, the environment, your own relationship to yourself. And ask, do I do that? That seems familiar somehow. Not to judge them, but just to observe. Can you see yourself in them? And if so, can you find the gratitude for the awareness? And leave off should. Should is one of the best ways to maintain inequality. But rather, what are you called to? What really matters to you from the source of love and light? And how can you align yourself with that today? I thank you for your willingness to grow, beloved ones. I thank you for your willingness to awaken. And ultimately, your willingness to serve. I love you, and I'm with you always. Namaste. Yay, awesome. I'm ready. Are you ready? Oh, Kaya, yes, I agree. She is. Oh, thank you so much. Namaste to you, April and Wicked Witch. Lovely to see you here, both of you. Green beans, yes, go with the flow. And if you can't go with the flow, try to connect with people who are so that you can ride the tailwind and then pass it on when you're in the flow. That was a nice image for me. Danielle, you used to live in Seattle. Every nook and cranny along I-5 is filled with homeless and tents. Question for Mother, is it a choice? Oh gosh, you know, Debbie, I don't know the answer to that. I think that from what I've gathered from her teachings over the many years, I think we have individual choice. but then there's also collective choice. And I think what she was talking about today is very much about collective choice and how we treat ourselves and each other in the face of equality. You know, are those people living in the tents on the I-5 corridor, are they equal to the president of the United States or to the most famous celebrity on the planet or the wealthiest people or the princes and kings and queens, and right? So do we believe that they are essential? I think that's really where we have to come to the question with ourselves individually and collectively. Are the homeless people, wherever they live, all over the planet, are they essential? And I think the answer to that is at the heart of this shift that's happening on the planet. Yeah. So it starts here. What do we believe? What do we believe? And so that would be my answer. I don't know if Mother would echo that, or if she would say something completely different. You're so welcome, Angela. Yes, me too, because this is definitely a flow that I very much want to ride. You are welcome, Carol. All right, everybody, thank you so much again for being here, and thank you for all your wonderful comments and your love that you share each week. And I will see you here next week. Yeah, I'll be back next Monday, 10 a.m. Pacific time, US. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day and have an awesome week. Mwah. Much love to you all. Bye-bye.